Hello guys and welcome to another video. In today's video I'm going to be talking about something that all of us have as human beings, and that is habits. Habits are something that we automatically do on a daily basis, like brushing your teeth. You don't even think about doing it, and most of the time you don't even realize that you're actually doing it. And the last part here is unfortunately very true when it comes to how very many people are handling their finances. In the US, nearly 1 in 3 workers, they are living paycheck to paycheck, even those earning more than $100,000 per year. I simply couldn't believe that nearly 1 in 3 workers in the US are living paycheck to paycheck. So I went onto Google and I looked further upon the issue, and that's when things got even worse. According to another study made by Careerbuilder, well then 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Obviously something is completely wrong if you have a yearly salary of above $100,000 and you still have to live paycheck to paycheck. And most often what is wrong is your habits, and it doesn't really matter if you're earning $20,000 per year or $100,000 per year. Well then the one thing that is keeping you from living paycheck to paycheck is your bad habits that you most often are even unaware of. In today's video I'm going to give you 5 different good habits that you need to start implementing into your personal finances. And these 5 good habits, well, they can potentially make you stop living paycheck to paycheck and actually be able to put some money aside for the future. If you liked today's video, well then please press the like button below the video and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one in the future. With that being said, well then let's get started. The first habit that you need to start implementing is to pay yourself first. Most often when people receive their monthly paycheck, well then they're paying everyone else before they pay themselves. They start by paying their rent, their utility, their gym membership, then they might go out and eat for dinner, and then they might buy some new clothes and all of these things, and then they are planning on saving if there is any money left at the end of the month. The problem here is that there is never anything left at the end of the month. Sound familiar? People who do get ahead financially, well, they are doing the exact opposite of this, because they are paying themselves first and then they are paying everyone else after that. This means that before they pay their rent and they start swiping their credit cards left and right, well then they put a certain amount of their monthly paycheck aside into a savings account. And then they basically live the rest of the month with the amount on their account that is remaining after having paid themselves. They are essentially focusing on making themselves richer before they start making anyone else rich. Usually people think that the only way to put more money aside is by earning more. However, what we very often see is that when people start earning more, well then they start spending more as well, and they still end up with a total net worth after the month of 0. One of the best ways of avoiding this problem is simply by paying yourself first. So always put a specific amount of your monthly paycheck into your savings account every single month and be consistent with it. That is the best way of getting rid of this problem. The second habit keeping you poor is being over-reliant on credit cards. Don't get me wrong, credit cards are a great thing, but it can be a really bad thing as well. Credit cards make spending money extremely easy and effortless, and it makes you able to buy things that you wouldn't be able to buy otherwise. And I'm actually not surprised that as of 2019, Americans are in $1 trillion credit card debt. Our daily lives are filled with advertisements and commercials trying to persuade us to open our wallets and spend money on things that we don't actually need and spend money that we don't have. It is no wonder why so many people are stuck in credit card debt, and it is one of the biggest killers of financial wealth there is. A recent study has actually shown that the average American family has more than 20,000 in credit card debts. The overall problem with credit cards is that it becomes so easy to spend money, and it gives you the fallacy that you have more money than you actually do, which of course results in you spending money that you don't actually have available. A good rule of thumb is to always carry cash when you go shopping. That is going to stop you from making impulsive decisions. And another very good idea is to always think before you buy. You should always think, why am I buying this? Why do I need this thing before you buy it? Having this discussion with yourself will very often prevent you from buying things that you don't actually need in the first place, which again makes you save money. The third habit that you need to start implementing is budgeting. Having a budget and knowing where your money is going every single month is extremely important. However, not very many people are doing it, and that is a huge mistake. Every big company or organization that you know of is most likely using a budget. It is more or less only us who is actually not doing it. Budgets can be used in order to understand how it is that you spend your money, but it can also be used for you to understand how you can reduce your spending and thereby put more money into your savings account every single month. Thereby it can be said that budgets are essential for you in order not to spend more than you earn, but also making sure that you actually have enough money to put something aside every month. Thereby it can be said that budgets actually are essential for you in order to understand how it is that you spend your money And it is essential for you to identify the bad economic habits that you have developed over time. It makes it very easy to identify the amount of money going into your account every single month, but also to identify the amount of money going out of your account every single month. And that combined gives you a very good understanding of your actual financial situation and the tools needed in order to improve your financial situation. It also gives you the ability to prioritize your spending and to focus on spending money on what it is that is actually most important for you. However, the reason as to why not very many people are doing it is because it can be a bit overwhelming and it can be a bit time consuming as well. I have a few tips that can make budgeting very, very easy for you. And the first tip I have is to use the 50-30-20 rule. This rule is basically saying that 50% of your total income every single month should be used on your needs and obligations. 30% of the money coming in should be used on your needs and wants, and the last 20% of the money coming in should be set aside for your savings or used to pay off the debt that you have. If you follow that rule of thumb, well, then budgeting becomes very, very easy, and it doesn't take much time if you have a rule of thumb to go by when you're making the budget. Another really good tip I have for you is to use the website called mint.com. You basically connect your bank account and your credit card to the website, and then they're going to analyze your spending every single month, so you know exactly what your spending looks like all the time. They are also going to analyze the data for you so you can find ways in order to improve your spending and create more good habits for yourself. You can also put your net worth in there, and then you can see how your net worth changes month to month. I am in no way sponsored by the website, however I do really like to use mint.com. The fourth habit that I have is that you should start setting financial goals for yourself. It has always been very important for us as humans to set goals for ourselves. In that way we know exactly what we should strive for. A really important thing for us, no matter what it is that we actually want to achieve in our life, is to set goals. Without having goals, it can be hard to know what it is that you're actually going for. A really good thing could be to both set long and short-term goals. A short-term goal could, for example, be something that you want to reach within the next 5 months, whereas a long-term goal could be something that you want to reach within the next 5 years. Very many people are mistaking financial goals and budgeting for being the same thing, however, it is not. A budget is something that is concerned with the coming month or the coming quarter or so, whereas their financial goal is more long-term. It is most often several months or even years. There is a ton of different ways in which you can set a financial goal for yourself. And that is super important because it gives you a financial goal to work towards. An example of a short-term goal could be that you, for example, are $10,000 in debt. So you essentially have a net worth of minus $10,000. And then your goal could be that within the next 12 months, well, then you want to have a net worth of zero, which means that you are essentially paying $10,000 in debt off. And that goal is extremely important and extremely beneficial for you because it means that you get rid of all your debt and you have a net worth of zero. And that itself might sound a bit weird, but it is actually something that not very many people have. The majority of people today, they have more liabilities than assets. So having a goal of reaching a net worth of zero would actually set you apart from very many other people. Financial goals are something that I use a lot, and it has helped me reach my financial dreams a lot faster than I would have had otherwise, because it motivates me and it keeps pushing me towards my goals every single day. Therefore, I would highly recommend that you start as soon as possible with setting financial goals for yourself and start to reach your financial goals. The fifth and final habit that I have that you should start implementing is investing. I often hear people saying that you shouldn't invest until you have a lot of money. And those people who say that, they couldn't be more wrong. Investing early on, even though you might not have the most money available, will most likely be one of the best things that you ever can do for yourself, financially speaking. Usually this mindset of postponing investments until you have a lot of money available ends up in a never-ending cycle, because those people who think like that, well, they always find new excuses for not investing but spending their money on something else instead. So simply having money in your bank account will not simply make you invest. You need to think about investing and you need to actively do it yourself. And you need to start the habit of investing early on. And I'm now going to show you what it actually means and how powerful it is to invest early on. I have an example of a person here who's able to put $2,000 into investing every single month. This person, he does this consistently for the next 40 years. So from his 20 to his 60. And basically he's able to retire then. If this person keeps investing the $2,000 into the stock market for the next 40 years until he retires, and we assume that the return on investment is around 8%, which is sort of like the average return for the S&P 500 index during the last 40 years. well then this person is going to end up having $6,260,805.49 in only 40 years by only investing $2,000 every single month. Now we have an example where the same person again, he doesn't invest before he's 30 years old. We still assume that he invests $2,000 into the stock market every single month, and we still assume an average return of 8% per year. Well, then he's gonna have $2,638,922 when he's 60 years old. This actually means there's a difference of around $3.5 million when you're 60 years old by starting with investing 10 years earlier. This only shows the true power of investing, and it gives you the right incentive as to why having this mindset of posting investing is a bad idea. Therefore, I cannot stress enough that you should start investing as early as possible. It is super important. These were basically the 5 habits that I have that you should start implementing into your life in order to stop the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. I hope that you liked the video, and if you did, then please press the like button below the video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one in the future. Thank you for watching.